Okay, I'm good. Well, welcome back, guys. It is me. If you're new here, I'm Laura. I guess my first name is Laura. I guess I can go ahead and say that. The name of this channel is Southern Take. I'm from the South. If you can't tell, and this is my take. I give it to you straight up and how I feel about certain stuff. I feel like, honestly, this country, the world for that matter, has lost its damn mind. Sometimes I feel like I need to take the temperature of people that just can't see shit for what it is. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and apologize now that here we go, more of this crap going on. But Miss, I just wish Johnny would let me move on with my life, has decided, along with her attorney, to do a press tour. So, she's really trying to just move on with her life. Oh, she's trying to, in the lane words, get her 15 minutes of fame and drag that shit out. But yeah, here we go. I'm going to just go and play this. God help us. I want to move on, but this lady won't let us. And I feel like I should play in the background Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. All aboard. I mean, don't you feel like that? Yeah.
More than a week since the verdict. As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in? How could it?
That was a pause for dramatic effect because we're all stupid.
Surreal and difficult, in part, yes. This has been a long time coming.
Do you stand by your
These are Freudian slips. Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse?
Of course, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
Yeah, to her dying day, she's going to stand by every word of her testimony. Do you think she's going to come out now and tell the truth? Do you think this woman knows how to tell the truth? That's another thing that pisses me off, is how entitled, narcissistic, and self-absorbed she is, that she believes that so many people couldn't figure this shit out on their own, didn't actually take the time to look at the evidence and feel like she is full of shit. And I'm going to tell you, as a woman, something that really flew up my ass is whenever she tried, oh, I'm so upset for all the women out there that, but don't you dare use women that are survivors of DV or SA as your human shield to try and make your story seem believable. Okay, you are what makes real women that have been through some shit sick to their stomach. And the fact that she said that shit is just makes it worse. You know what she's doing. We know what she's doing.
The real-life drama of the defamation case between Amber Heard and her ex-husband Johnny Depp captivated millions of people around the world.
Amber Heard just got exposed.
Johnny, you hit me.
This is so cringe.
With clips spreading across social media like wildfire.
I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think that
Think about those words. The vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. Well, yeah, to the most part, that is true. There were so many people watching this trial and taking highlights from it. Yeah, but the trial was not heard on social media. It was heard in the courtroom, in those four walls, by a jury of your peers. Well, apparently you don't look at them as peers, you look at them as peons.
this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok. And the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this.
People online and crowds outside the courthouse made it clear where they stood.
Every single day I passed for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying, "Burn the witch," "Death to Amber." After 3.
And see how she pauses there with that last one with the whole death aunt. You can't believe anything she says, because she's bitching about the social media exposure and the opinions of the people in the country or around the world for that matter. But she's the one that went to the police station and called for publicity to take a picture of the side of her face. She's the one that sent the extortion letter to Johnny Depp's lawyers wanting the Range Rover and the $50,000 a month and all that shit. Or that's why we didn't serve him at the movie premiere last night. An open damn threat. Okay. Then she didn't get what she wants, so she goes and publicly does a TRO when he's in another damn country. Then she goes and writes a damn op-ed in the Washington Post, and now she's pissed off about exposure because people aren't on her side. Well, it must be nice.
3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans who were
and that's another thing. Okay, this is the part where you start thinking this is literally at first thought she's self-entitled brat. She'd get it with Me Too, but now she's no younger than a squirrel turd. Okay, she just referred to him as saw a courtroom full of Jack Sparrow fans. His name's Johnny Depp. They're Johnny Depp fans. Yes, they might have liked him in Pirates of the Caribbean, but his name is not Jack Sparrow. Mira.
vocal, energized.
Can you put into words how that felt?
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through. I have never felt
What in the Maker's Mark bottle?
more removed from my own humanity. I felt less than human.
Let's go back to the day of the verdict. Were you feeling confident?
That's a great
She's doing the same thing she did in the trial. Like what?
question. I wish I could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true. Even if you think
I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true. Like nothing's stopping you now. What's stopping you now? Go ahead, tell her, hell yeah, I was confident. I was walking out there with the balloons. I had my glass of wine. I was ready to celebrate. I figured everybody believed my bullshit.
that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
Do you find that
Think of it like again, you can't look me in the eye and think there was a fair representation. People are not there to represent you, Amber. We're not your PR team. People watched this trial, looked at the evidence, saw what was going on, and they formed their own opinions. Nobody has to side with you. Nobody has to believe you. And since you come across as the damn most shadiest and shifty person, one of the I've seen in my recent times, and I watch a lot of crime scene shit, interrogations and stuff. It's my thing, okay? And I'm telling you, people can smell bullshit.
Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
After the 6-week trial, the jury found Heard defamed Depp in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she wrote she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. She never mentioned her ex-husband by name. Depp denied the abuse allegations in court. Heard won just one of 3 claims in her countersuit against her ex-husband. That verdict came less than 2 years after a judge ruled
No, she didn't claim about that pity vote.
against Depp in a similar case in the UK, in which he sued a British newspaper that called him a wife beater.
There was another trial, dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in. In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces of evidence kept out.
Do you think she realizes she just lost a defamation case? And here she is. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you think's worse? writing an op-ed in the Washington Compost or going on the Today Show and doing an interview. Oh, God,
Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
Some evidence is admissible in a UK
and there she goes blaming the jury again. Well, the judge would have known better. The judge.
court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
For some people,
Right. I think what she said that his lawyers did a better job distracting than yours. I mean, they tried, didn't they? They accused people of wanting their 15 minutes of fame. They brought up who bought the muffins. They tried to say that because he drank and did drugs, somehow that translated into him putting his hands on you. So I mean, your side tried.
they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that?
Absolutely. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is.
And now listen what the interview asked her, how people discussed about both, and now now it's how it's covered. That's the media. There were cameras in the trial. That's the one good thing about this, is that the media couldn't put a spin on it. That everybody got to say from beginning to end, the minute they walked into the courtroom to the minute they left. You got to see it all.
Hollywood brats at their worst. But what people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that. This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects.
And remember, she brings up the First Amendment here, and it reminds me of the fact of what she has said about social media and people's opinions. She's allowed to have hers, but apparently the rest of us need to sit down and shut the hell up. And we can't figure out what the truth is, even though we have seen all the evidence. That was the same evidence that was presented to the jury, but we're morons. If you were wondering,
Protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation, and that was the issue in the case.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. You can't go into the free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire. We get the concept of free speech from the Greeks. My understanding of what that means is not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
But truth is.
Yeah, but it doesn't. No, that might be what the Greeks meant and where it was derived from. That's not the meaning of free speech. Is it's not just in that. Would that be truth to power? She was an actor just like he was. I thought she was a successful actress. Remember the audio tape where she was belittling him for doing 21 Jump Street, mocking him and laughing at him, and said she couldn't hear him because her reruns were playing too loudly. Remember that, Amber Heard? Now she's in the submissive thing. Mom, she ain't mocking him for his 21 Jump Street anymore. And now he's the powerful one. She needs to speak the truth to power. What?
His word.
Yes.
And that was the
Where's the
issue.
other
And that's all I
Truth.
spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
In the closing arguments, the DEP lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
That's a perfect pause. Yeah, you heard that right. I don't know if you know this or not. Johnny Depp was not playing a part in that movie. We were all duped. He did not have scissors for fingers. It was a movie. Okay, it was a movie. Will Ferrell is actually not an elf. Listen, I know I've got some breaking news today. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Mr. Ed. Oh, this is going to be a tough one, guys. Mr. Ed The horse, he actually couldn't talk. Oh, ooh, I know that one stung. I know it stung a little. But yeah, she actually is saying that 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 Johnny Depp convinced everybody that he had scissors for hands. Where are we right now?
I'm the performer. I had listened to weeks of testimony.
Not just say Camille didn't say it was a good performance either. Sorry to burst your bubble there. She said the performance. She didn't say a good one. Maybe if you convinced everybody who's telling the truth, you would have won.
Insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress. So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp team argued that you
Holy
were
hell.
the abuser, that you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt.
You say you were responding, but there is evidence. There are tapes.
She ain't gonna like that. Remember, she doesn't want to. She doesn't like the evidence part. She wants the, convincing you that she's telling the truth part. Just like Johnny convinced us all he had scissors. This is, I'm telling you, man. The cheese has slid off this lady's cracker. Okay?
In which you acknowledge hitting. There are tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. They were first leaked online after.
Much has been made of these audio tapes that they recorded in the privacy of their own home. They weren't putting on a performance. They were by themselves. Much has been made, y'all, of Edward Scissorhands audios.
After being edited. What you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was evidence of a negotiation, of how to talk about that with
a negotiation. We are living in the land of Oz, okay? I'm telling you, y'all, this woman is nuttier than a porta potty at a peanut festival, okay? We are living in La La Land.
your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that says, he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. I mean, this is in black and white. I understand context. But you're testifying and you're just telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified on the stand about this, is that
God.
when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're
like, normally I have a lot to say about a lot of different things, but tell me I'm not alone at the fact that my mind I feel like I have mashed potato brains at this point. That this woman has convinced herself that when she opens her mouth and says things like that, she's making sense. Like, it's like at first she starts that off to try and say that, yeah, most people don't have resources like she had, like 24/7 medical care that she could report any injury to, and these doctors would have had an oath to write that down in a record if they had seen her with the bloody scalp or a bruised face or whatever. Zero reports of injuries from Kip or Lloyd. She had a 24/7 nurse. That does not help her case. That they saw nothing.
living in it.
But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world, Johnny Depp, I, a man, am a victim of domestic violence.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips are excerpt from.
Yeah, I listened to all of them, lady. I listen, trust me, I'll never get those hours back. I listened to every minute of those audio tapes. I listened to the 911 flipping calls. Okay. I watched both your depositions, the parts that I could get. Yeah, I remember what you said.
Could your
And he would, if you'll remember, you were the one pissed off at him because he was the one leaving all the time. If you're in such fear for your life, then why is he the one trying to get the fuck away from you? It makes no sense to anyone that has two damn peas to run together between their ears. It makes no sense. Okay? We might not be perfect as a society. We might be arguing about a lot of stupid shit, and there might be a lot of serious stuff going on that in this world, country, whatever. But I'm telling you, almost everyone, yes, you have a handful of insane people that went on Twitter the other day and did a meet and greet. Well, I can't even mention what they were doing, and these were your fans. It did not shock me. Let me just say that. But it's like you can smell the bullshit. We smelt the bullshit.
side have just put the whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer. As I testified to, I was.
Oh, I talked. Listen, she just asked her, could your attorneys not put the whole 3 hours in? Listen, and her response is, well, I'm not the lawyer. Well, you think if it made her look good, they wouldn't have done it?
3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer. As I testified to, I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
He
And
says
it
he
doesn't.
never hit you. Never. Is that
Yeah.
a lie?
Yes, it is.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
File rank and support a person they depend on. You mean like her friends that all lived in the penthouses for free? You mean those kind of people?
I
Off Johnny Depp's dime, not hers? Those people?
am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as a person who sat there.
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? And the answer I got was because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the marriage.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways. There's so much, I have so much
Almost unrecognizable. But we all know she knows exactly what you are doing.
regret. I freely and openly and voluntarily talked about what I did. I talked about the horrible
didn't.
language. I talked
No,
about.
she didn't. She didn't even. She tried to remember all the time she tried to deny that she didn't even like doing MDMA, and she never did MDMA. And then she talked about her Coachella. She did MDMA, and then she tried to blame taking all of them on him. Said he took like 8 to 10. Then we find out she did MDMA. This lady, I mean, my God. I feel like she was doing MDMA as often as a bird will take a shit on a freshly washed car. Okay. Well, I mean, that's just how it feels. That's how it seems. And then the guy that was her co-star in one of the movies said that she was walking around like the girl from Cruel Intentions with the thing hanging around her neck, and she'd pull it out.
About being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between, right and wrong. I will always
Going with that now.
continue to feel like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship, because I was.
Try to hold your face like that right there. And I think unless you're Elvis Presley, that's going to feel really fucking strange. How she does this half-cocked face thing of like, let me see if I can pull a lie out of the backside of my smooth brain. Try to do that when you're talking. Try to lift your face up. Oh, all right. Just try while you're home. Right here. This.
like I was a part of this, like I was the other half
get
of this relationship, because I was. And it was ugly and could be very beautiful. It was very, very toxic. We were awful to each other. You know, I made a lot of mistakes,
Yeah, you did.
a lot of mistakes. But I've always told the truth.
Hurts.
But I've always told the truth, except she was caught how many lies? How many times did the story change about what happened in Australia, about what happened to his finger? How many times did she lie? How many times? Johnny Depp's story never changed. Hers changed many times. Even the 911 calls that night at the penthouse. First, she had I was supposed to call, and then it was Rocky Pennington called, and then Rocky wouldn't even give her name. She was like, "My friend, yeah, something happened with somebody." That doesn't sound like somebody that's actually that does. That is the epitome of someone trying to set you up. Have y'all ever heard that? Hold on a minute. Listen. I'm not trying to make this 45 minutes long, but I am going to freaking hang on. Okay, yeah, this is going to make this video longer. So if that was enough for you and that's what you came here for, then you could, I understand. I totally get it. But like, this is what I mean by people and having common sense. And it's not about flipping politics or social media clubs or whatever else. This is about people out here touching grass and looking up, seeing a cloud and like, we're not morons. Okay. So I want you to I'm going to set the stage. I think Brian does it here. Set the stage where this is Turd Herd. These are the three people involved. I don't think I'm even going to bother with the O because it's not, he goes into that, but this is Rocky. Okay. This is supposed to be her best friend. Now, women out here, men too, if you want to, you're in the situation where supposedly you're watching your best friend and her husband get into a fight so bad that you feel the need to call 911. Okay, this is your best friend and you're calling 911 to try and hurry up and get the police there to pull this monster off your best friend. We've set the stage. Now you let me know how you would call the police. Get the police over here, damn it. Billy Bob is beating the shit out of Renee. Oh my God, what's her name? Renee Smith. What's his name? Billy Bob bullshitter. Where you at? I mean, come on. We know exactly how that call went. This is how that call went. And then she wouldn't even give her name. She wouldn't even give her name that she's the one that made the call. By the way, she's never brought up in court, too. Anyway.
Friends like Raquel Pennington and others. The Daily Mail recently wrote an article about a 911 call made on the night of May 21st, 2016. The night Amber Heard claimed Johnny Depp threw a phone, striking her face with great force, followed with pulling her hair and hitting her repeatedly. Let's take a listen.
Saturday, May 21, 2016, 20:27 and 27 seconds.
911 emergency, operator 278. Hi, I need to report an assault right now happening at 849 Broadway at the Eastern Building in Penthouse 3.
27 and 37 seconds.
Okay, are you there right now, ma'am?
No, I'm downstairs.
Okay, and I'm sorry, you said 840.
Now she just made this call, so she's not there, that she's downstairs. This is Rocky Pennington's voice. Do you understand me? This is her best friend calling to get help there. And this is how she's acting on the phone call. I'm not there. I'm downstairs. Remember the testimony in court that she was right there and had ran to the apartment to go help her. She had to go back and get the key. She was right there within 2 minutes.
Was this North or South Broadway?
47 seconds.
I don't know. It's the Eastern Building, downtown LA.
She lives there.
20, 27 and 57 seconds.
Because it's coming up in different areas. We have to be sure.
20,
somebody was being physically assaulted?
Yeah.
7 seconds.
A woman.
Who was hurting her?
A man.
Is that her boyfriend?
Who is being assaulted? A woman. Who's hurting her? A man. This is her supposed to be her best friend. And you want to tell me that they gave, that's what, if this would have been admitted, you think that jury would have gave Amber Heard that second thing whenever it was accused that they set all this shit up to try and get a police report so they would have something after she called her PR person and her lawyer person. And then she asked that therapist whether or not she should be the first one to call, if she should call and file a report or whatever would look better on her during the divorce. You want to put that together with this phone call? Does this sound like your best friend's calling in a panic for you to get some help? Because Edward Scissorhands is beating the shit out of Mira?
Man, that's all I know.
17 seconds.
All I know is the man.
Did you witness it?
No, I happen to know that it's happening,
Saturday,
and I just need to
May
remain anonymous.
20,
Okay, you can remain anonymous, ma'am, but I have to be
2016,
certain what's going on. How do you know this is going on, though?
20,
She told me.
and
Oh, okay, so this is a friend of yours?
seconds.
Yes,
Okay, so what did she say, that this guy was assaulted her or hit her?
physically assaulting her, yes.
Okay, but this isn't a
Again, remember, she lives in the penthouse down the hall. And now they testified she was in the penthouse with Amber standing in between them to stop it or whatever. Now she can't even remember her name, doesn't know her name, doesn't know his name. But then she says she's the friend. She says she's not there, says she's downstairs. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to shut up. This is what I mean.
boyfriend or anything like that?
Yes, it's
20,
It could be, yeah.
28,
It could be.
and
Okay, is it her boyfriend, yes or no?
47 seconds.
Yes.
Okay. All right, hold on.
Why do you think they didn't mention this shit or want this shit brought up in court? Why do you think? Because it would blow a hole through everything they've testified to about how much of a rush, how this is their best friend. Now she's calling, acting like she doesn't even know their fucking names. She's downstairs, meaning she's not in the penthouse with them. This is such a horse shit, that load of shit. If this is supposed to be her best friend, give me a flipping break.
Are you between 8th
20,
and 9th Street in
28,
downtown?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
57
Okay, and I'm
seconds.
sorry, what was the suite number?
penthouse 3.
Penthouse 3? Okay.
Penthouse 3. Where you live? Penthouse 1?
And you want us to be anonymous, right?
29
Yes, please.
and 07 seconds.
And your friend, did she relay this information to you via text, or were you talking
20,
to her?
29
phone.
and
Okay.
17 seconds.
So,
What's her name?
Saturday, May 20,
Her name, Amber.
2016.
That's all I can tell you. I have to go.
29 and
Okay, well, if that's all we have, and we can't
seconds.
talk to her, there's not much we can do. We'll send
What do you
someone
mean
up.
there's send somebody up, please?
I'm going to send someone up, ma'am, but, you know, if we get up there and she denies it or
20,
doesn't want to talk to us,
29
okay, just so you know, okay? So we're coming out to 840 Broadway, Penthouse 3, okay?
Say 849.
Interesting, isn't it? Normally, something of this magnitude would go a long way in furthering the truth of someone's claims. However, in this case, I feel it does the exact opposite. Allow me to explain. I'm going to ask and hopefully answer several questions. Questions like, who made this call? Why did they? Why is it only now being talked about? We'll ponder the apparent different interpretations of the word immediately, and you'll see some new deposition footage proving how lying under oath comes easy to some people. There are a number of lies to potentially uncover and dig into here. Like, who made this call? Well, we can start with who didn't. I'll tell it right. If you recall, Io was in New York on the night of May 21st on the phone with Amber, who was in LA when she alleged John.
if you want to go watch the rest of this, I suggest you do. This is why Brian does such a good job. I'm telling you, this dude, he's the one that released all these audios, did these visuals. Look at this, did this whole thing. It's such a good job. He did such a good job. But this is what I mean by, you think that passed the smell test? Your best friend calls 911 and won't even barely give your name, won't give their name, wants to remain anonymous, says they weren't there in the apartment, but then they try to testify that she was. Come on, calm the hell on. Anyway, all right, there we go. Here we are again. Let's see how long she's going to do a press tour. Maybe she'll get the clue. This is not looking good. This is not make her look any better. All right. Have a good one, guys. Catch you on the next one.